I don't put anyone on a pedestal in the Watts case. Nobody, not one person, and that includes Frankie. Don't put anyone on a pedestal. I don't love bomb people. I don't put anyone on a pedestal. But the genius of what Frankie did yesterday, the genius of what he did by releasing that footage that people like Dave and AD would have loved, would have done anything to get their hands on and to release as an exclusive. The genius of what Frankie did is that he was able to really, and I mean really, get under AD's skin, particularly AD. I would say that AD is more annoyed about what Frankie did, releasing that footage of NK. I would say AD is more angry and more, more frustrated. I would say that AD is more upset about Frankie Jr., a person he doesn't like, a person who he's been criticizing, and a person who is his adversary. I would say that AD will be more upset, even more upset than Dave. Dave would have been upset too, but I would say AD in particular would have hated the fact that Frankie got that bit of exclusive footage of NK, released it before AD could even think about doing it. AD is seething. It's bubbling up inside of him. He cannot bear the fact that Frankie was able to release that footage on his channel. But what would make it even more annoying, upsetting, frustrating, what would seethe AD even more is the amount of views that Frankie got, the amount of people that were in chat. That would have enraged AD, because he knows that his audience were watching Frankie Jr.'s channel that night, that day, whatever you want to call it. He knows his audience, a large percentage of his audience who he's managed to turn against the Rusex. He knows that a large percentage of them would have been watching that footage, and that would have really angered him. Frankie's views would have angered him. The amount of people in chat would have angered him, in that stream. AD wants to be the one to release this kind of exclusive information and this footage, because he likes to credit himself with everything. I mean, his life totally revolves around the Watts case. So I think the genius of what Frankie did was the fact that he was able to get back some control. He was able to say to AD, in non-verbal communication, I'm the one who's running things. I'm the one who knows what's going on behind the scenes. I'm the one who gets the exclusive information, so on and so forth. I think that what Frankie did yesterday, because for so long the Rusex have just been sitting there, having these guys, having people, talk about their family, talk about this case, pretending that they have exclusive information, and they have, their hands have been tied behind their backs. And I think it was a great way of getting some small revenge. And I'm not saying that Frankie did it for revenge. That's not what I'm saying. I think there's a few reasons why Frankie uploaded that footage. And I'm not a spokesperson for Frankie, and I'm not speaking on behalf of him. I can tell you that. He comes to this channel, yes, he leaves comments on my channel, but, I'm not speaking on behalf of the Rusex. I'm just telling you what my opinion is. I think there was, at least Frankie can say, or Frankie can think to himself, I've got some small sense of satisfaction here, because AD has been pretending that he has got exclusive information. He's got exclusive this, crediting himself with every tidbit on the Watts case. And this is a piece of footage that he was not able to air or publish exclusively. And I think that's a genius in what Frankie did, taking back some control of what happened to his family, not AD's family, his family. I have to admit, and people know this, I'm not really interested in NK. I don't have hatred for her. I don't fixate on her. And I know that I'm a minority in the Watts case. I don't have hatred for NK at all. Is she my favorite person? No, and she never will be. Do I have views on her that are negative? Yes. But I don't fixate on NK. I think she should be allowed to get on with her life. I think she has the right to get on with her life. And I don't blame her for anything. I think she was a catalyst, but I don't blame her. I actually didn't watch the footage. I kind of watched a few seconds and then clicked off. And for the very reason that my interest in NK is very, very limited. And people know that. People come here and they try to engage me with conversations of NK. They try to impose their opinions on me about her, and they try to get me to agree with those opinions. And I just don't have that fixation with her. So I do very little podcasts. Very few podcasts that I've done on NK, because my interest, and people know that, people intrinsically know that, so they don't even watch videos that I put out on NK, because I don't have the interest. I don't have the interest to sensationalize NK like other people do. So this is nothing to do with me trying to get in on any kind of action. This is just me giving you my opinion of what happened and what Frankie did. And I actually wish that I had watched it and I had been more interested to watch it, because I would like to talk about her body language. And I might do that one day, or I might not. You know, the fact of the matter is, I am not at all fixated on NK, and people know that. People come to the channel and they really know that they can feel and sense that I have very little interest in Nichol Kessinger, and I have very little interest in blaming her. I don't fixate on her. I'm not obsessed with her, and I'm not fascinated by her. But AD and Dave's audiences are. So that was so refreshing to know that a lot of AD and Dave's audiences would have been watching that footage, salivating at the mouth. And I'm very, very happy for what Frankie was able to do. Good on him. I cheer him on for that. And obviously, as AD does, he responds and he talks about things on his community post, and he writes, 15 channels talking about the Watts case last night. Well done, Frankie Jr. I've recorded them all. I rest my case. Thank you so much for rekindling the discussion. I, of course, have said nothing yet. So that's his little dig at Frankie for getting under his skin. AD is really seething that he wasn't in on the action, because the Watts case is his case, and he doesn't like anyone to get in on exclusive action on the case. He doesn't like to feel left out. He wants to get the credit for everything to do with this case. And that was just a very sarcastic comment. You know, when he said, well done, Frankie, he was being sarcastic. And there was bitterness to that sarcasm as well. I know AD very well, and I've been studying him for a long time, and he's so bitter and sour and salty over what Frankie did. It's unbelievable.